Today we are going to talk about meal prepping, and this is an important topic because when I speak to some of my clients before they start working with me, the main complaint is that they don't have time. But I'm here to tell you that it really doesn't take that long. What you need is a good strategy. So today, whether you are somebody who is super busy or somebody who has been dabbling in meal prepping and maybe you thought, okay, this is not for me, let me just break it down for you so that you understand what it is that you need to do. Okay, now I would love to know for those of you who are either watching live or watching the replay, what kind of questions you have, what kind of issues you may have run into in the past when it comes to meal prepping, and also how it went for you. Now, here's the thing, too. Sometimes people will say to me, Mary, I don't like leftovers. Do I have to eat the same thing every day? Well, listen, how old are you, first of all? And what type of goals do you have? And are you going to let that type of mindset get in the way of making sure that you achieve your goals? Right. So let me just start with that. You're an adult. When you need medicine or you need cough syrup, what are you going to do? You're going to take the cough syrup no matter how it tastes, right? Listen, I have kids, and my little one, sometimes when he has a cough or he needs allergy medication, he'd be like, I don't like the way this tastes. But it's good for you, it's going to help you. And the same goes with eating certain things. So, with that being said, let's dive right in to meal prepping. Now, the first thing that you need to do here is clarify your goal. What is the end goal for you? Why do you feel like you need to improve your nutrition? You need to lose weight, you need to gain muscle, you want to lose fat, because all of these things are very different. Sometimes people will say to me, Mary, I need to lose weight. Like, all right, what does that mean to you to lose weight? Are you trying to trim down, get more toned, more defined? Are you trying to get more muscular? Are you trying to build a booty? Are you trying to just get stronger? What is your goal? So that is number one. Understand what that goal is for you. Because if we don't know where we're headed, how are we supposed to write up the plan and create the map to get us there? So make sure that you know that. And once you understand that, hopefully if you need help with that, you are talking to somebody who can help you understand that. Hello, I can do that too. So if you need any help with that and understanding and clarifying your goals, definitely let me know. Definitely reach out. I don't like the way that this light is reflecting on my glasses. But I need my glasses because I'm no longer 25. Okay. So with that being said, let's move on. Once you understand what your goal is, then you can create a plan. And the plan for you is also going to involve the amount of time that you have. Now, let me just say also that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And I know that some of us have a lot more going on. Some of you may be working a full time job and maybe running a side business while making sure that the kids are taken care of. And maybe you're a caretaker for a parent or someone. So you might already be thinking, Mary, when am I going to have the time to do all this? But I guarantee you that you can find pockets of time and that there are shortcuts that you can make in order to help yourself. For example, before we go into all the meal prepping stuff, there are places where you can go and pick up ready made meals. If you are a Costco member, or even the regular grocery stores now will have ready made meals that you can purchase that can maybe take the burden off for a couple of nights. So again, meal prepping and making sure that you have the right foods around is a way for you to maximize your time so that you're not spending all that time creating the meals and all of that and cooking when you are busy. And it also ensures that you are eating when you're supposed to eat. Because if you are somebody who is working out, who is active, and who's been feeling a certain way, maybe a little tired, maybe a little low on energy, it's probably because you're not eating enough. And here you are exercising, going to the gym all the time. Maybe you're doing a lot of cardio, maybe you're doing all the classes, and you're not feeling well. And it's because you're lacking in your nutrition. And the other thing, too, is that you are not going to see the results that you want to see, especially if you're trying to build muscle, if you're not eating enough. So that's super, super important. This is why it's important to understand what your goals are so that you plan accordingly. Understand also what your time is like throughout the day and throughout the week. Where do you have pockets of time? Where can you make those shortcuts? Right? So now that you understand that a little bit more, let's dive into planning your menu. Again, this is all based on what your goals are. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab a calendar or a notepad. I have a few notepads here with me, and you're going to write out your day, the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Now, you can choose, depending on what your goal is, again, you can choose to either uh, eat the same things every day, or if you want to just do maybe on Monday you have one meal and on Wednesday you repeat that meal, etc. Or you can have a different meal every single day. Another thing too is that are you going to also be planning your breakfast and your lunch? So ideally, you should be having 3 meals a day. Some of us intermittent fast, and I know I do it myself. Sometimes I don't eat my breakfast until 12 o'clock. And that's just what I choose for myself. That's what makes me feel good. But depending on what I have to do throughout the day, there are days when I do have to make sure that I eat a good breakfast if it's a lifting day and a teaching day, because I teach fitness classes and I also lift weights and I also go to other classes. So, for example, on a day like today, as I'm recording this, today is Thursday. I don't have to go to the gym at all today. Today is my day off. So I don't have to eat a lot in the morning. I had my first meal at around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and that was 2 pieces of toast with egg salad on top and a giant cup of green tea. That was my breakfast. So it really depends on where you are, the kind of time that you have, and whether or not you're going to need all of those calories for the day. So plan your menu, write it out throughout the week, understand what your structure is, understand what your routines are. And we don't talk about this often enough. Yeah, we want to have all of these goals and all of that is great, but how is your day structured? Do you know what you have going on from day to day? Do you have a planner? Do you have an agenda? Do you have a calendar? Do you have something that will, for example, remind you when you need to drink your water, when you need to eat again? And I'm guilty of it too. When it comes to eating water, I have with me all day and all night. Even when I drive, I carry this with me and I continue to refill it. So that is important to me. That is part of my lifestyle. What is your routine? We need to make sure that we take this, even though we're talking about meal prepping and all of that, we also want to have a holistic approach to our lifestyle. And it's not just about the one thing, it's about how the one thing works together with all the things that you have going on in your life right now and in your schedule. Yeah. So as we go along, you're going to plan your menu, write it out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. Even on the days when you're going to be going out to dinner, for example, or maybe when you're going to have people over, just write it out. Have a plan. Have a plan. Now, once you understand that, you're going to be eating certain things throughout the week. Now it's time to either come up with the recipes or come up with your grocery list. When you go to the store, you are going to stick to your grocery list. It's so important because one, it'll allow you to save money, and two, it will help you to stick to your goals. And if you happen to bring the kids with you, make sure that you do your meal prepping with them. Ask them what it is that they would like to eat throughout the week. Some of the kids have their favorite meals, sometimes they like their quesadillas or whatever. Involve them in the process, I should say, so that they also feel like they're part of it and that when you do go shopping and you are preparing the meals, you know exactly what is happening so that they're not surprised, like, oh, I don't want this, right? So it's very important to involve the kids. Don't go at it alone. Last night, my son and I made dinner together. It was just the two of us. He always loves helping me when I cook. And we've been doing this since he was very, very young. My kids have been a part of the meal prepping and eating whatever I put in front of them since they were very little. I know that there are picky eaters out there, and I hear it all the time from the parents. They could be picky, they could be selective, whatever. But at the end of the day, you are the parent, you are the one who goes to the grocery store. It is up to you whether or not you train them and bring them up accordingly. Remember that their nutrition is your responsibility. They have no idea what is good for them or what is not good for them. All they want is something that tastes good. And a lot of the times, whatever we prepare may not taste as good, but if you involve them and maybe you make it so that their palates are more willing to take in whatever you're trying to get them, right? So involve the kids at all times. If you have any questions, you can always pop them in the comments or send me a message about that. I'm happy to go, offline with you to talk about all of those things. Now, once you have your meal plan for the week and your recipes if you need them, And your grocery list, when you go to the store, you're going to stick to the outer perimeter of the store because in the middle is where you're going to find all the processed stuff. So make sure that you read the labels. Make sure that you Google whatever you don't understand. This is a good starting point. The more ingredients the box has or the label has, the worse it is for you. Stick to simple whenever possible, please, please, please. Now, once you have your meal, you know, calendar everything, your grocery list, your shopping, you have to also make sure that you have, do I have it on here? I know I wrote it down somewhere. Okay, the right containers also. Okay, so make sure that you have the right containers. It's super, super important. Anything hot that you're going to store should go in glass containers. Anything cold, you can put it in plastic containers if you need to. Your cut up veggies or your cut up lettuce or kale, anything like that, you can store in your plastic containers. Okay? Now that it's time to prep, this is what you're going to do. Now, this is what I do. If you are on any of my social media platforms, for example, on LinkedIn, I recently shared my meal prepping guide where I show you videos on how I do things, how I roast my veggies, the order that I prepare everything in, and we even have some recipes on there that you can look at. So for those of you who saw that, great. If you haven't seen it, send me a message and I'll send you the video. Okay, let me take it. You know how sometimes when you have too much on your mind and you're talking and thinking at 1,000 miles a second. So that's what's going on right now. So anyway, yes. So I have that video there, handy dandy for you to check out. Because once you begin to prep, think about this. If you are, I'm going to give you the example, of myself. I like steak. I like chicken. I like salmon. I like all of those things. So some of you may not, and that's okay. But I like to have a variety. I'm a meat eater. That's like the main source of my protein. So what I do, for example, I'll go to Costco and I'll buy the steak. Costco has these strips, which are like long, and all you have to do is cut them up in cubes, marinate them. Sometimes I'll pop them in the air fryer. Other times I'll just cook them on the cast iron skillet, and I put it all in a container. I do the same thing with my chicken and my salmon. And then the root vegetables, what I do is I roast them. And this saves me a lot of time because I'll do it all at the same time and I'll pop it into the oven. I also use my toaster oven. So at any given time, I will have my stove, the oven, and the toaster oven going at the same time, and sometimes even the air fryer or the pressure cooker, depending on what I'm cooking, right? So when it comes time for you to meal prep, think about the amount of time that you have and think about how much work you're willing to put into this. And like I said earlier in the video, you can also have those shortcuts. And those shortcuts are buying pre-made meals already. So you can get things from Trader Joe's, for example. Make sure that you are eating the right amount of protein, fat, and fiber always with every single meal. Protein, fat, and fiber. If you are not too clear on what those three main sources of nutrition are, definitely let me know and I will send you my guide, my meal prepping guide, which will break down all of the different types of protein, whether they're meat based or vegan based, as well as all of the different types of fats and fiber. You need all of that for your body. The fiber will allow you to not only stay regular, but also give you energy and will, make sure that you are not getting that brain fog and all of that. So it's important to have that every meal. Now, make sure that when you are going and you're getting all of these ready-made ingredients, for example, from Trader Joe's, I get the quinoa and brown rice mix. Sometimes I cook my own quinoa, other times I get it already frozen. They also have the frozen plain brown rice. Costco has the big bags of roasted veggies that you can already bring in and warm up. You don't have to worry about that. So think about the different shortcuts. This is why it's important to understand what your goals are and what you want to eat throughout the week and where it is that you can prep on your own or where you can create those shortcuts. Yeah. Now, in terms of the snacks, you have to plan that as well. I'm not a big snacker, although I love a yogurt. The yogurt that I eat, I don't have the label here, but it's a French yogurt and it's super thick and creamy because it's all natural. It doesn't have any additives and it's whole milk, whole fat yogurt. So that's what I like. So in the afternoons when I'm feeling like I should eat something, and that's what I'll eat. Or I'll bring that to the gym with me. I also make sure that I pack my protein shake. My protein shake is made with banana, oat milk, my vegan protein powder, which is amazing, and that's it. And frozen berries, that I get from Costco. Super, super simple. I sometimes also add a few other ingredients, such as maca powder for more energy, ashwagandha, which is an adaptogenic ingredient that I use to help balance my hormones and all of that. So it really depends again what your goals are. For me, it's important to stay active, and for me, it's also important to feel fulfilled and to have that focus because I do a lot throughout the day. I lift weights, so I want to make sure that I'm adding enough to that snack, right? So be mindful and intentional with your meal prepping, with your menu, and with your grocery shopping, and also with your snacking. Yeah. And another thing that you need to think about is what can trip you up, like what can go wrong for you throughout the week. Think about what can go right, think about what can go wrong. Because if you're going to have something tripping you up, and you know this already, it could be maybe leaving the house in a rush and you forget to grab your your lunch bag or whatever you need. If that happens to you, make sure that you set up alarms. I have an alarm set up for when it's time to get ready, for when it's time to leave. So this way I know that when it's time to get ready, I have everything already on the counter that I need to take with me. Because God forbid I leave the house and I go to the gym to teach a class, to take a class, and to work out, and I don't have my nutrition, I'm going to fail miserably. So as the saying goes, if you fail to prepare, you will prepare to fail. This is why prepping and planning is so important. It doesn't always have to go 100% the way that you want. And this is why having those good snack options will help you so that you can just grab and go. So if you happen to skip a meal, you know that when you get home, you have a great meal waiting for you, right? So if you have any questions about that, let me know. You can always send me a message. And for those of you who are watching the replay, I encourage you to message me with any questions that you might have as well. Now, for those of you who might be feeling like, okay, I don't want to do this alone, Mary, I need some hand holding, let me talk to you about my Transform Into program that I have. Now, for those of you who know me, you know that I have these coaching programs, and I have a program called the Transformation Project. And what that is an 8-week program where I go with, over everything with you, the meal prepping, the mindfulness, the exercise, everything. But this is an abbreviated version of that to help you to jumpstart your, your wellness journey. Okay. So I know that for some of you, you might be thinking, okay, is this something that's really for me? And let me show you this actually. Very important. Did you know that 80% of doctor visits are actually caused by stress? So that means that they're completely avoidable. All the anxiety and all the stress and all the overwhelm, that is really going to manifest physically, and it's going to cause headaches, it's going to cause fatigue, it's going to cause lack of focus, moodiness, and all of that. Now, if you combine that, the overwhelm that you might currently have in your life, right, with not eating properly, not sleeping, not exercising, and not having a way to be stressed, it's going to cause chaos in your life. So, did you know that you are also 100% capable of improving your lifestyle? It doesn't take much. What I just showed you is a very, very simple tool that you can use to enhance your nutrition, to make sure that you are meeting your goals. If you are somebody who needs to lose weight, this is how you do it. It all starts with your nutrition. But before we do any of that, we have to make sure that we are okay up here, that our mindset is on point. And this is why you need a mind, body, and soul strategy in order to live a better life. And that is why I wanted to introduce you to the Transform Into program to give you a jump start. But this isn't just a simple 2-week program, right? So what I'm going to be doing with you here is I'm going to be teaching you how to journal intentionally. I'm going to be showing you recipes, giving you an entire cookbook of vegan recipes because this is for everyone. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, I'm not vegan, Mary. You know what? Add a steak to the meal. Okay, add a piece of chicken, add your salmon. This is a base for you to start with, and you can always add on. And like I mentioned before, you can always get your ready-made meals as well. The other thing that I'm going to be including here is mindfulness practice, right? Introduction to all of that. I'm going to be working out with you live. And this is something that I decided to do yesterday as I was preparing this program for you. I thought, you know what? Instead of just having it as a recorded program, I'm going to do it live with you. So that means that on Monday and Wednesday morning, this is our schedule. So pay attention. We are going to be dancing. We're going to do Zumba on Zoom. As some of you know, I've been teaching Zumba for over 13 and a half years now. My classes are always packed at the gym. And before we came back to the gym, after, during the pandemic, I was teaching on Zoom. So I had a great group of people dancing with me on Zoom. And aside from that, we also did some weight training. We also did some core exercises, and it was a great way to connect with each other. And this is something that is coming back. Now, what I'm going to be including here are two 45-minute Zumba classes with all new routines. So for anyone who's part of my membership program for Zumba, you are going to be seeing all new routines. I'm also going to be giving you some weight training as well. So we're going to do some weight training, body weight exercises. If you're thinking, Mary, I'm a beginner, I have knee issues, I have back issues, I have neck issues, I have attitude issues, listen, doesn't matter. Show up. Okay, I got you. So the wonderful thing about me doing this live is that I can see you, I can correct your form, I can show you, you can ask questions right there. So I know that it's a lot for the 2 weeks, and I know it's so much for the amount of money that I'm going to be charging you. Okay, so Zumba, mindfulness, intentional journaling, stretching. We're also going to be including the recipes. We're also going to be including a resistance band workout. So you can choose and say, okay, on Monday, I definitely want to show up live for this. Or you can say, maybe that's not for me, so maybe I'll do it later on. I'll watch the recording because you will have access to the recording. And also, this is the one that is like the big bonus is that you are going to have access to me for 2 weeks, okay, live right there every single day, including one weekly group coaching session where we're going to sit on Zoom together and talk. And I'm going to give you all of those journaling prompts, all of the accountability. So this is something that is starting on December 12th. It's starting soon, and the program is now ready for you to sign up for. Okay. If you have any questions about it, just let me know. Did I forget anything about the Transformative 2? No. So 2 weeks, 2 weeks, $97, live workouts, live Zumba, live weight training, live resistance band workouts, recipes, shopping guide, what else? Mindfulness, intentional journaling, okay, and also group coaching with yours truly, 2 group coaching sessions. All of this is over $1,000 for 2 weeks, but you're going to get it for $97. All right. So the information is right there. Just go to lifestyle.marymassey.com to sign up or to learn more about it. You can always send me a message. And with that being said, I hope that you are well and that you do take advantage of this. If nothing else, I hope that this meal prepping guide will help you. Send me a message and I will send it to you. And make sure that you are clarifying those goals so that you know exactly what it is that you need to do. This is the time when you need to prep for the new year. Don't wait until January because a lot of people say, okay, I'm resolution, I'm going to get back to me. If you haven't gone back to yourself yet, when are you going to do it? So, I mean, truthfully, sometimes we sit around and we think, okay, you know what, maybe next week, I'll start next week. And next week never comes. Listen, if you look at the calendar, nothing there says tomorrow or next time or next week or later. It's either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Boom. That's it. So decide right now when it is that you are going to get back to yourself. You don't have to make a huge change, a huge lifestyle overhaul. It all starts with one little thing at a time. And that's what I'm here to help you with. So I'm here for you. I'm totally here for this. I am going to be going crazy that those 2 weeks, setting you up for, setting you up on the right foot. We're going to be going live for our workouts from 7:45 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And if you're saying, oh, that doesn't work, listen, you will have access to the recordings, right? So you join us when you can. And if you're not able to make it for the live workouts, I hope you can make it for the live group coaching that is going to be on Wednesdays at 7 p.m., right? So that's going to be on Zoom. He will have access to all of that for $97. Yeah. So that is that, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.